Hey, let's take a minute and let's talk about soil amendments, specifically organic. We're not getting into fertilizers right now. We're going to talk about compost and composted cow manure versus composted chicken manure versus um, raised garden bed material and so forth. So this is our new high tunnel. This is a 30 by 96, and we completely covered the ground in this in about 3 inches of composted cow manure, raised bed material, and planting mix, and Daddy Pete's nursery blend. Yep, I think that sounds right. Those are all organic, certified organic, and we did that to improve the ground quality in here to plant into. This will be our tomato tunnel for the year, and we'll grow some lettuce in it. And you see how beautiful the soil is already looking, and I've already went over it with my John Deere 1025R. We'll talk about that a little bit here in a second. And we've made several passes in here to break up that clay and push these amendments into the soil. And yes, I know the soil will burn up those amendments over the next couple of years, maybe even 3 to 4. But then what we'll do when that happens, we'll do this again. We are not a no-till farm. No-till would be fine if we could do it, but we can't without multiple tractor trailer loads of compost coming in every year. And I don't have the way to do that. We can't afford it. So we do what we can this way. And it has proven to work for us on the farm. Everywhere we have done this method, the soil quality gets better every year. And we have just continued to do it where we garden. So this will be a primary garden plot now, because you don't put up a tunnel like this and not use it. So this will become a primary garden plot for us, and we'll be doing a lot of planting in here. Like I said, this year will be tomato tunnel, and next year this will be a tomato tunnel with a cover crop of some sort in between. We may plant radishes, icicle radishes and turnips in here in the fall, and maybe some spinach and kale. We're not sure what's going in here yet, but there'll be a cover crop go in here that'll be dual purpose. That cover crop will be used for a market garden in the winter also. We don't do a lot in the winter, but we do some. So the importance of doing this is so you don't continue to strip your soil. There's another big importance to us that I touched on, and that's the fact that we have on the farm a lot of heavy clay deposits. And this is one of those. Soil doesn't drain well, and it's clay. Clay's got a lot of nutrients. You got to con that clay into letting go of those nutrients, which is what we're doing here, and helping it to drain when we do this. Now, I will probably do this again next year. Probably the same thing. We're going to cover this again and till it in one more year. After that, we will do either none or very minimal tillage in here, because we can get by with that. Now, we'll still add amendments to it, but we won't be tilling it in. It'll be going on top of the ground for a few years, and then we'll come back and do this again after 3 to 7 years, depending upon how fast it needs it after that last amendment that we do into the ground. But we always play it by ear / eyesight. You've got to use your head. So, as you can see, this is our native soil, and this isn't as bad as some of it. Towards the other end it gets worse. This is a lot of clay. Now, this has already been amended before by us over here several times, so it's getting better, but there's spots of this down through here that it's really, really heavy clay. But we're trying to get it to look more like this. So you can still see the clay in there. We've got it broke up with organic material, which will make for, see, there's some clay, which will make for a much better garden to work with. So that's what we're doing. And that's my advice. If you've got clay, that's my advice for what you for you to do also. So there's the bags we've went through. There's another bag there. There's more bags over here in the corner in front of the tractor. And then we've already got rid of some bags. Now let's talk about the 1025R. Some people say this tractor is too small to use on a farm, and I disagree. Now if you got a big farm, different story. But for inside this tunnel, I wouldn't want nothing no bigger. And we got several tunnels we got to work inside of, and this works great. Now the other advantage to this tractor is smaller tires, less weight. That's the smallest actual tractor John Deere builds. But smaller tractor, less weight, means less soil compaction when I'm working on the soil. That's a four-wheel drive. And up there's the bucket I just took off of it so I can maneuver better in here. It's got a quick release bucket that goes on the front there. And got I think that's a 49-inch tiller if I'm not mistaken. Now, I think it can handle a bigger tiller in spots like we have. Some places, bigger tiller would be too aggressive for it. But I think we could get by with a bigger tiller. Because that one don't even, no, it could be more aggressive. So, you can use a BCS. You can use a small tractor, a Kubota, John Deere, something like that. You can do it by hand. I'm too old to be doing all this by hand. I would never get anything accomplished. I am 52 years old. And no, those days are gone doing it all by hand. I do enough by hand already. The tractor saves me a lot of work. We usually have a little small walk-behind tiller that we use also, but it don't get used too much. That John Deere does the majority of the work. Now, we've got a Ford that we haven't used in a few years, a little 2000 series. It's good for bigger work. And I would not mind having a bigger John Deere for some of the bigger jobs around the farm, but I wouldn't want that bigger John Deere to do my market gardening with that we do on the farm. It's just too much tractor, too much soil compaction. You want to minimize that soil compaction if you can. So, what have we learned? Let's recap. Amend your soil, whether it's outside or inside. Watch for runoff. We don't want this stuff. We don't want to put this stuff down and it end up in streams and creeks and rivers and lakes and ponds. We want it where we need it. So that's what we're doing here. Put it where we need it. Use a good quality soil amendment. We chose to go with Daddy Pete's on this. We may do another coating on this if money affords it on exactly the rows where we're going to plant, not where we're going to be walking, where we're going to be planting. And we're looking at something besides Daddy Pete's for that, just to save a little bit of money and aggravation. We love the Daddy Pete's products, but it's a little bit of a, we have to buy it by the tractor trailer load, and storing a tractor trailer load on the farm or in the city gets to be a little bit of a hassle. If I had all the buildings inside to put all of that, and it was easy to get to, or I had a tractor big enough to move the pallets, that John Deere won't move those pallets of soil. It won't even shake them hardly. Not enough lift capacity on the loader. So amend your soil, take care of it. Now, we will fertilize also when we plant in here. This is just to start the season is all this is. And it'll help everything work better during the season. So amendments, fertilizers will be a different video. Get you something to work with if you're not going to go no-till. If you're going to go no-till, by all means, you don't need big equipment. You can do that with small stuff. Handheld hose, rakes, shovels, and we still use that stuff, but we let this take care of the big work. See, I could use a small walk-behind tiller to do this, but it would have took me most of the day, because this clay is hard. But that tractor, I don't know, I've probably been down here for 45 minutes, and this round is done. We're going to come in here and water this, and we'll see if any of the weeds germinate. We got some, wow. We got some grass to still pull out of here, but Tiffany's recovered from knee surgery, and she needed a break. So we'll work on that again tomorrow or the next day, and then we'll water this in real good. And when it dries out and some stuff germinates, I'm going to come back and either what to judge it by what we see. We'll either flame weed this whole thing, or I'll till it again, depending upon what it looks like. And then once that's done, then we will be ready to do our top amendment if we choose to do it. And that'll all depend upon finances. I want to do it. I don't mean I can afford to do it. Because we got another greenhouse to do. Our old tomato tunnel from last year has to be took care of just like this one. And it's got to be amended this year because it wasn't amended heavily last year. Last year we did a light amendment on it. And I say light. We put 3 pallets, actually 4 pallets, like 5 bags short of 4 or 5 pallets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's 5 pallets of cow manure on that, composted cow manure on that last year. But we want to amend that again because tomatoes eat a lot of nutrients out of the soil on that extended season, and we grew lettuce in there also. So we got to get that took care of and re-amended. But we have our chickens in there right now. It's another way to amend your soil. We have our laying flock in there, and they're tearing it up, eating the garbage, eating the grubs, and so forth, and eating seeds and so forth. And then we'll go in there and finish pulling out all the garbage, tomato vines, the grass, everything that's in there, and we'll till that in again, and we'll amend it and get it going. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. If you got any questions, comment below. Thank you.